Ha.
Being back here after coming from a short break from the Netherlands, it's
A struggle?
yeah, feels like a struggle.
Yeah.
Real first world problem there.
Yeah, I feel like we haven't properly caught up on our rest.
No, it's been straight from that to usual work. And on top of that, we also didn't see any theatre.
No, we
We're
did not
just
see any
cycling down canals.
in Amsterdam. We saw some entertainment, but we didn't see any theater.
What entertainment are you alluding to?
Those that red light district. In that classed as entertainment? We didn't partake, but we saw.
Liv saw some entertainment. I was just passing through.
You're the one who'd never been before.
Exactly. As I said, passing through. I was there for the stroopwafels.
Okay, actually, you were there for the Dutch apple pie, is what you were there
Actually,
for.
yeah, I did go back to the same cafe twice for the Dutch apple pie. That was quite delicious.
We will dream of that apple pie forever. But no theater. So we're going back to something we saw in the last 4 months, 5 months.
Yes, The Producers.
Yes.
So another musical.
Another musical.
And it was at the Garrick Theatre.
It was at the Garrick Theatre. Still is.
So let's dive in. You are listening to A&O Review the Show.
A&O Review the Show.
And it's time to dive into a little bit of the story because we need to make sure you're clued in. And be aware, there are spoilers if you haven't seen it before. So, The Producers follows struggling Broadway producer Max Bialystock, coming off the back from a complete flop in the form of a musical version of Hamlet. The producer teams up with timid accountant Leo Bloom after discovering a loophole that can make them rich by producing a surefire flop. The plan is simple. Raise far more money than needed, stage the worst musical imaginable, and pocket the difference when it inevitably fails. They set out to create the most offensive show they can, Springtime for Hitler, hiring an eccentric creative team, including a pigeon-loving Nazi and an entirely unsuitable cast. But when the show unexpectedly becomes a huge hit, their scheme begins to unravel, and Max and Leo find themselves desperately trying to deal with the consequences of their own success.
Intriguing.
Intriguing.
Is that how you describe this show?
Yes.
Okay.
So I don't know whether it was the first of its kind. So maybe we should delve just briefly into a little bit of the history of The Producers, because it didn't start off as a musical.
No, it was originally a Mel Brooks film. Well, the whole thing was conceived by Mel Brooks. A Mel Brooks film that came out in 1967. Not a musical, just a comedic film. It was then adapted to a stage musical on Broadway, which premiered in 2001, starring Nathan Lane and Matthew Broderick. It then came and had a run on the West End, I believe, as well. And then in 2005, the musical version, the stage musical version, was made into a feature film that also starred Nathan Lane and Matthew Broderick, as well as Uma Thurman.
So effectively, it was a film.
Yeah.
Straight film that got turned into a musical, that then got turned into a musical film.
Correct.
And then revived.
Yes, and then now revived on the West End. All of which done, I should say, Mel Brooks obviously wrote and directed the first film, but he also wrote the music and lyrics for the stage musical as well. So, yeah, man of many talents.
So it has had an interesting journey. And
Yes.
since then, I've seen other things where people have effectively created plots where people are trying to scam fortune out of failure.
Yes.
I suppose is the best way.
Yeah.
The one thing that immediately springs to mind is Zach Braff's, well, when I say is his, he's in it.
Yeah.
The Comeback Trail
Oh, yeah.
with Tommy Lee Jones
Yep.
in it, and Robert De Niro, who's
Yep.
perhaps the main character that I should have started off there
Yeah.
with. And I absolutely love that film.
Yeah. It's a great film.
Which is weird as to why the producers didn't really strike as much of a chord with me as I thought.
Okay.
And it's a satire
It
in
is.
some ways. It is satiring the whole of Broadway music
New York,
industry.
Broadway.
And there's maybe I just got out of the wrong side of bed that morning, or maybe I just had my cup of American media for the day, but it was very, very Broadway.
It is very Broadway.
And it is a slapstick comedy.
Yeah.
It is based on slapstick, stereotype. It is not subtle in the slightest. There is no subtlety.
Yeah.
And that is not just the West End show. That is from, well, the film as well. The 2005 film,
It's
anyway.
the piece as well.
Piece.
Yeah.
And disclosure, I only saw the film this week.
Yes.
So,
The musical film.
the musical film. I haven't seen the original
Not
film.
one of us have seen the
No.
original, so
Maybe that's where we should have started.
yeah, maybe that is where we should start.
But effectively, it was enough of a different shade not to tickle my fancy. I think it's the
Okay.
best way to put it. It
All
was a good show.
Yeah.
I can appreciate it.
Yes.
But in terms of my own personal opinion, the characters were larger than life, and I suppose that was necessary, but the stereotype and the let me hit you over the head with this comedy just wasn't particularly hitting me on the night that I saw it.
Okay.
And that's no discredit to the direction and the actors. It
No.
was excellently done.
Yeah.
Considering I've seen now the film version of it and seeing what they were trying to go for, and they definitely got it.
Yeah.
And there were moments that were great. I love a good comedy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it mixed feelings for me.
Okay. Yeah, you don't have to love everything we
Mm.
see. Definitely not. I felt, kind of the opposite. I wouldn't say it's my favorite show ever, but I really enjoyed it, and I really appreciated its humor and its slapstickness. I don't know if that's just because, I work in show business, so something that pokes fun at it. I'm quite
is-
up for.
It is basically the equivalent for you as W1A is the equivalent for me at
Yes.
BBC.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. And there's a lot of obviously industry inside stuff that's kind of layered into it that you might not necessarily get if you aren't familiar with the theater industry. And there was actually quite a few things that you wouldn't necessarily get if you aren't familiar with American pop culture, I think, as well.
And that's another thing.
Yeah.
And I don't think it was a case that it was too over the top with American culture. Don't get me wrong, it was saturated with it.
Yeah.
And that's probably part of the reason it didn't strike me on the night that it did. But I wouldn't say you needed to know that to understand what you were watching.
Okay. That's good to know. But yeah, I guess also I was quite familiar with the show before seeing it.
I forgot about this.
Because I've actually performed in a professional stage version of The Producers.
And if you're watching the video version and we're good enough at the editing, we'll try and stick a couple of photos up.
I was just in the ensemble. Not just in the ensemble. I was in the ensemble, so I played several different characters. I think this was circa 2008, maybe? 2008, 2009, so I was about 16 or 17 years old. Who did I play, you may ask?
Who did you play?
Well, I played a dancer in the number King of Broadway, just towards the start of the show. I was a German auditionee in the Old Bavaria section when they're auditioning for Springtime for Hitler. I was a granny in the number where Max Bialystock is seducing some grannies, which we'll get into.
Yeah, poor old Max fixing his elder clientele.
And I was a dancing Nazi, a phrase I never thought I'd say.
That'll be some of your German lineage, I guess.
Yes. So yeah, those were just a few of my ensemble roles. The other thing that I just found really interesting, just an anecdote from doing it, is it's one of those shows where when you get the rights to do it, you almost get like this Bible of the show that basically has all of the director's notes and kind of stage directions and choreography. And you get, as an ensemble member, you get assigned like a number or a name from that, and it's almost like a map, and you kind of like follow their track in each of different numbers. So like in King of Broadway, I was specific ensemble member number 6, and I had this track that I did and moved around, and that, I guess in a way of making, commerciality wise, making sure everyone, no matter where it was in the world, got the same level of performance.
So there's a certain prescription of comedy.
Yes, there is, which I found very interesting, because not every show is as prescriptive like that.
Which would probably explain why I think the West End version maps so well onto the film.
Yes.
Or the musical film.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was a really interesting thing from my small acting past life. But yeah, it was a fun show to do. Don't get me wrong. Like, it's very silly. It doesn't take itself very seriously at all. So we have a lot of good fun.
So what are the standout moments of the plot and characters for you? I do... Seeing Max fleecing all of his elder clientele for money because they are the source of his...
They're his investors.
Theatre funding. Yeah, his investors in exchange for other more sultry things. It did send my old watchdog scam senses tingling. In case you didn't know, I used to work on the consumer program, and I had heard stories like this before.
Yeah.
I did. There's a certain amount of sympathy I had for the grannies.
Yeah. Maybe you couldn't take it as in a silly way because you've been close to the real life thing.
Except the grannies seemed very happy about it towards the end. So
yeah. Well, they get some loving out of it.
Yes. The sultriness.
Yes. And they're named like based on how they, like, character-wise, they're named like Touch Me, Feel Me, or Kiss Me, Touch Me, or like the granny names are pretty funny as well, how they're credited.
Yes, and a musical number with Zimmer frames is always...
Yes, always, yeah.
Appreciated in terms of its uniqueness.
Yes, imagine a kick line, but with Zimmer frames.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And other characters that stood out, obviously Ulla. The blonde bombshell from Sweden.
Yes.
Who plays every stereotype of the curvy, sexy blonde that's meant to swoon every man on stage.
Ingenue, femme fatale, bombshell, all of the major female roles.
Mm-hmm.
She's great. She is really fun.
Yeah, and she's a big source of comedy.
She is.
Very stereotypical comedy.
Yes.
You're not looking at intellectual stuff here.
No. And I really like seeing kind of the arc of Max and Leo and how their friendship forms and kind of the journey they go on. And, despite Max being a conniving con man, you do have these moments where you do feel for him a little bit.
Well, towards the end, he basically admits that his only friend is his new partner in crime.
Yeah.
And it plays off that trope that producers are just sort of crafty, almost bordering on criminal.
Yes.
And just there for the money. Something I perhaps never really appreciated so much, except when talking to Olivia about this industry.
Yes.
And learning that the primary role of a producer is
to run the production, look after the production, raise the money for the production.
There it is.
Yeah. So we got there, but they're not. I would say that's not.
No, it's not a realistic
portrayal of a producer. They're not all just trying to take all of your money and connive you out of it all the time.
Except for this one.
But no, their main job, being a commercial producer, so for the shows you see on the West End, they're about raising the money and the backing And then they also obviously look after the show, look after all the people on the show, make sure everyone gets paid and gets paid on time. And basically running a show on the West End as a profitable business. There we go. Like that's the main goal of it at that level on the West End or on Broadway. So yeah.
Well,
you learned something.
Yeah, I definitely learned something.
But no, I like seeing the kind of journey of Max and Leo. And I like seeing Leo kind of come out of his shell when we meet him at the beginning of the show. He's a very shy, timid accountant who physically carries a baby blankie around with him everywhere he goes. And you see him slowly kind of come into his own and want to be a producer and then join forces with Max in this kind of crazy scheme. And then he falls in love with Ula, and then he runs away with her, and so
To Rio.
So it's quite it's a lovely mapped out journey that you see those characters go on, which I can appreciate.
Yeah. And if you didn't gather, effectively the scheme does obviously go wrong. And that's when the famous duo kind of almost fall out.
Yes.
And then of course they get back together towards the end.
Yes. Exactly.
With a string of hits, and towards the end, the main hit is a show for prisoners.
Yes, Prisoners of Love.
Prisoners of Love.
Yeah.
Beautiful. What I do wonder is Springtime for Hitler was a hit in this story.
Yes.
I have to be very clear about that.
The world of this play.
Considering the nature of the topic. But primarily because it's seen as a satirical piece.
Yes.
Within a satirical piece. Taking the mick out of Hitler. And they don't revisit it, even though it's successful.
No, I think...
Maybe they realised it was just poor taste.
Yeah. Or maybe, you just move on to the next hit. Maybe it continues to run.
Yeah, but Ula's in there.
Oh, yeah, that's true. And she was...
Who is originally employed as one of the actresses.
Yes.
Ends up being in Springtime for Hitler and also Prisoners of Love.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I guess what's also interesting is, we can talk a bit about Franz Liebken, who is the writer, the character that is the writer of the Springtime for Hitler. So as Adrian said, they decide they're going to do this scheme where they're going to make the biggest flop, and they have to find the worst play. And so they find the script, Springtime for Hitler, and they go to Franz and ask him for permission and to get the rights to put on the play. And so that's a whole very interesting scene, and you meet him. And
Franz is a Nazi.
Yep.
Or neo-Nazi.
Yeah.
He wrote Springtime for Hitler as an ode to Hitler.
Yes.
And very much cares about Hitler.
He does.
In the most ridiculous way possible. He is the most stereotyped German.
Yep.
That I think I've seen on stage. Although admittedly I haven't seen many Nazi portrayals on stage. Which is perhaps a good thing.
Yeah.
And also has a very, very impressive collective of pigeons.
Yes. Carrier pigeons.
Yep. Who are hilarious.
Yeah, that's quite. And they do some dance moves. They're not silent watchers.
And the actor for Franz really gets into it.
He does. He really does.
And gets all the actors into it.
Yep.
Around him.
Yep. Max and Leo have to go along with a lot to get the rights to this.
And they do ham it up.
They do.
And they need to ham it up because you're dealing with a neo-Nazi.
Yes. Yeah. So they go through a lot, these guys, in this musical.
Yep, all for $2 million.
Yeah, exactly. Hope it was worth it for him. Yeah, so we talked about the characters. Do you want to talk about the music at all?
I don't have a huge amount to say.
Okay.
And this is odd. So I watched the film after doing the musical on stage.
Yeah.
And I thought I'd do it that way just to kind of refresh my memory a little bit.
Yeah.
Of the music, because I don't really remember many of the numbers, and they were all very solidly performed. Once again, very good orchestration, and very good performances from the actors on stage. There was definitely no moments.
Yeah.
But the music did its job. And I'm not entirely sure, for me, it did anything more. There were moments where I was like, oh yeah, I remember this in my head. But not necessarily because it's something that was an earworm, just because it kind of fit the scene at the time, or they repeated a line over and over again. So it's well performed, but not really any standouts for me.
Okay.
It was a Broadway parody, but that sort of brash Broadway that isn't really necessarily my cup of tea.
Okay. That's fair. Yeah. I mean, it's not a show, in my opinion, that's known for its musical prowess. Like, it's not a Les Mis where, like, the music is so effective and emotive.
And they get breaks.
Yes. And they get
Don't
breaks.
sing constantly.
Yes. It's not completely sunk through the producers. But yeah, it's very tongue-in-cheek, and it's more known for kind of its humor or kind of what the songs do within the show than it is for its melodies, kind of thing. But there's one or two, I think, really catchy numbers.
So which one's for you?
So for me, I mean, I have a soft spot for the first number, which is the opening night, because it was, I did it a lot in the show choir group I was in, the Stage Right Sensations. And
so this was before you were dancing Nazis and Granny Number 5.
Yeah, exactly. This was like the start of like our Broadway medley, and it's a good number to start anything with because it's about an opening night, and so it.
What in particular does it for you?
What in particular about the song?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's exciting. It got me going, got me,
okay,
ready to go to the theater and hear what was happening. So I think it's that bit of it, and probably a dash of nostalgia in there as well, I'd say. Probably my favorite is "I Want to Be a Producer," which is when Leo Bloom is dreaming about being a producer, and
that number goes on.
That number does go on. Nice little tap number, though.
There is a tap number.
You don't see tap numbers very often these days. So.
And not really any more in that show.
No, just the one.
Just the one.
But no, I think it's a pretty classic one for the show. And Ula's number, "When You Got It, Flaunt It," is a pretty standout one as well, I'd say.
With all the stereotypical Swedish accents.
Yep. And all the innuendo you can imagine.
All the innuendo.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, there is no shortage of innuendo.
Yeah. So, but no, it was, like, I agree with you. It was good. It was very well performed. It served its purpose in the show. It's not really going to be a soundtrack that I'm going to walk away and, like, listen to on my own.
And I will admit, I did start re-listening to the soundtrack over the week. I didn't finish it.
Okay.
But on the other hand, I then watched the film. So
yeah. So yeah, maybe it's about it being it's standing alone. It doesn't do much, but obviously as the whole package,
it's very solid.
Yeah.
I've seen musicals where there's non-standout music, but the overall package is quite strong.
Yeah.
I think this is probably one of those occasions.
Okay.
Yeah. So for choreography, set design, costumes, I want to hear your thoughts. I don't have a huge amount on this.
Okay. I mean, I thought everyone looked great. Like the costumes were great. There were a lot of like everything worked like in terms of how from my previous knowledge, like you get given like the costumes when you get the show as well. So like the costumes were different from previous productions, but they all like really worked. All the little grannies wore all their little leopard print and had their Zimmer frames and their gray wigs, and so that was pretty good. So yeah, I thought the costumes were beautiful. I thought the set was really lovely. I should say also, before the show transferred to the Garrick in the West End, it played at the Meunier Chocolate Factory, which is a small venue kind of in near Borough Market, London Bridge area. And it just like, I haven't been, but I do know it's quite small. And so seeing like all that set and all those actors on the Garrick stage, it already felt quite full, so I can only imagine how like tight and small and full it felt at the Minier. But yeah, I thought it worked really well. I thought, and it was quite actually a big cast for a show. But I thought, yeah, it all looked really good to me. And did the job, told the story. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and I think that overall the stage always felt full. Well, it didn't feel empty.
It did always feel full.
There was a lot of activity. The slapstick is high energy, high octane in nature, and I feel like they kept that up.
Yeah.
And the set changes were enough to transport you from all the places that you needed to go. There was one moment where Ula is swinging on parts of the office stage. In the film, I noticed she paints the place white.
Yeah.
Paints the office, the production office white.
Yeah. Yeah.
In the stage show, she doesn't do that, I don't think.
No.
But she does clean it.
Yeah.
And she's swinging on parts of the set where I'm thinking, oh, I hope that's strong enough, knowing what sets can be like. It is. She's fine.
Yeah.
And yeah, I thought it was good.
Yeah. But it did everything it was supposed to do.
Yeah.
So, and Ula had some great costumes. I mean, she had some great outfits.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So.
And overall?
Yeah. What did I think?
Yeah.
I mean, I enjoyed it. I had a great time. Had a good night out. Would I go see it again? Yeah, I would. I mean, I'm not.
You have a personal relationship with it.
I do have a personal relationship with the show. So, but I mean, it's not like it's a thing like, oh, I really need to go and see that again.
Yeah.
But like, I would go see it again.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed myself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed myself overall.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure I would go and see it again.
Okay.
But that's not to say that it was a bad show. This is where it gets confusing. As I say, I loved things like The Combat Trail.
Yeah.
Which is a comedy and is a case of trying to produce a film to fail. In this instance, effectively kill off one of their leads so they can claim the insurance. And the lead being Tommy Lee Jones, basically an elderly actor. So not all that different in nature.
No.
And you can tell that it takes cues from this sort of thing. So it's obviously very successful that people have kind of cottoned onto it. And I really love that. And I also love musicals.
Yeah.
It's just altogether, maybe it was just a bit too much. Bit too sort of American humor with an O, not with an OU.
Okay.
It in some ways it felt like a bit like the Carry On movie in parts.
Okay.
Or the Carry On movie series in parts.
Yeah.
There was a bit of that.
Okay.
Definitely a lot of innuendo.
Yeah.
Not short on that. But singular shout out to the pigeons.
Yeah. They were good.
Because even neo-Nazis need a hobby.
That they do.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And how often do you see pigeons on?
Yeah, no.
Honestly, they're not real, but
No. That we should clarify. These are not real pigeons that they've trained for the stage. So,
yeah.
But no, okay. Well, that's all right then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a little bit of a factoid coming up is that Richard Kind is playing Max Bialystock for 7 weeks from the 23rd of March.
Oh.
And the guy that played Max when we saw it was excellent.
Yes, Andy Nyman, shout out to you.
Yep. But Richard Kind, who I remember as the hypochondriac from Scrubs.
From Scrubs, yes, yeah.
Is going to definitely add a different shade to that character that's, going to be welcomed.
Oh, he's been in so many things. He's a comedic genius, so I think he will do well.
As was the actor that played Max when we saw him.
Absolutely.
It's not a case that is one better than the other, but it is going to be interesting. As also for the fact that Richard Kind is American.
Yes, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you also said that you thought, so obviously in the original Broadway show and in the movie of the stage show, you had Nathan Lane playing Max Bialystock and you had Matthew Broderick playing Leo Bloom. But were you saying to me that you thought the character of Max reminded you of Matthew Broderick?
So I'm going to keep this short just because I don't want to turn it into a film review.
Okay.
But I did find it interesting. I can imagine Max's character being played by Matthew Broderick,
Okay.
even though Matthew Broderick played Leo. And actually, the guy that played Leo live on stage in the West End version had much more of a Leo-ness about him to me
Okay.
than Matthew Broderick. And part of that is also the way that Matthew Broderick plays Leo.
Okay.
He plays him almost like a leading man. Matthew Broderick is, in many cases, a leading man actor. But obviously, Leo is one of the main characters, but a little bit, take a step back.
Yeah.
And also is quite nervous.
Yeah.
I think I mentioned to you, the thought occurred to me, sort of Justin Long style
Mm-hmm.
character.
Yeah.
Even though, obviously not musical, but still.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay.
But that's more of a film point than a West End point.
Yeah.
Because that was unaffected, and the actors that played Max and Leo on stage were excellent and well
They were
suited
excellent.
to one another.
Yeah. I just found that interesting because, I mean, having seen Matthew Broderick in the film, I then kind of can't think of him as the other character in my head. But that's just me. So.
Well, just to wrap up.
Yeah.
I have another side thing.
Oh.
We did Shakespeare last week.
Yeah.
Week before that, we did alternative stories.
Yes.
I did find an alternative story about this one where not only were Max and Leo failing at their in their endeavors, but also the Beatles had apparently fallen on hard times.
Oh.
So their fates were intertwined. But
Okay.
I'm not focusing on that.
Oh, we're not doing
I thought in the style of Producers,
Okay.
I can do... So in the Producers, they produce Hamlet the musical.
Sure.
And also, there are names of other shows that you see that aren't quite what they seem. They're basically like the shows that you know, but a word here is changed.
Yes.
And I thought I'd play a game of real or fake.
Okay.
And if it's real, flop or hit.
Okay. All right.
Okay?
Okay.
And
I'm gonna enjoy
I did write
this.
these down, and I'm going to kind of turn this because obviously I don't want her to see.
Okay.
So, sorry, turn my iPad around.
Yes.
So,
Okay.
I've got here a parody of Silence of the Lambs called Silence the Musical.
Not to say whether it's real or fake.
Real or fake?
I'm gonna say real.
It is real.
Okay.
So was it a flop or not?
A flop.
It was actually a cult hit. I need to fact check this, admittedly.
Okay.
But apparently it was very popular in comedy circles off Broadway.
Interesting.
Mm.
Okay. All right.
Okay? So, here's in action.
Okay.
Live on stage, coming to a theatre near you, Titanic 2, Jack's Back.
Oh. Not real.
It is indeed fake,
Okay. Okay. Good.
but perhaps dangerously believable.
I thought about it for a hot sec.
Coming to a theatre near you, Spider-Man, Turn Off the Dark.
Oh, that's real.
It is real.
Yes.
And is it a flop or not?
It was a flop.
Apparently it was technically successful.
Oh, did it make all its money?
My notes here are infamous chaos, injuries, and budget madness. So I'm not entirely sure.
It's it is known as one of like the worst disasters in Broadway history.
Okay.
Of a show. I believe there's a book written about it. But yeah.
I'd call that technically successful if a book was written about it.
Yeah.
So I think my notes are correct.
Interesting. That's class is success.
Okay.
Okay.
Gonna rattle through these last few.
Okay. Yeah.
And Emojis, the musical.
Not real.
Fake.
'Kay.
For now.
For now.
Give it 5 years.
Yeah.
And producer with no shame. Match Bialystock. You know,
If you're listening. Yeah.
And the IKEA musical, Flat pack dreams.
No, I'm gonna go on a limb and say someone's done that. Yeah, that's real.
Well, maybe an idea for a fringe show, but it is currently fake.
Okay.
But perhaps disturbingly plausible at Shoreditch.
Someone take that idea and run with it. You will make millions.
The last one.
Okay.
The Spice Girls musical, Viva Forever.
Definitely real.
It was real.
I remember that.
And flop or not,
I believe a flop.
it was a flop.
Yeah.
And that was despite all the hype.
Yeah. So Spice Girls unfortunately can't fix everything
Yep.
as much as we'd like them to.
Maybe they just need a different producer.
Yep.
With a rather eccentric writer. And director and actor.
Oh, well, that was fun.
There you
Thank
go.
you for that. That was great.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
I aim to please.
Oh, I think that wraps us up, don't you think?
I think so.
Yes.
Until next time.
Until next time. The Producers is still playing at the Garrick Theatre and booking through September 2026. So you can go check it out and let us know what you think.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
And we'll be back, well, hopefully next week.
Yeah, hopefully next week.
And until then, cheerio.
See ya.
And I'll review the show.